This is not a normal episode of Tiny House Nation. We're bringing in the country's best haunted house experts who will scare us and give us the coolest ideas we can do at our homes, no matter what the size.
Oh no, what are they going to do to our tiny houses?
And they'll prove that tiny can be terrifying. I'm in the mountains of western Maryland on my way to Blue Moon Rising, a village of tiny houses. The villagers called me because they're dying to turn their homes into tiny haunted houses of terror. Some people are afraid of the woods, but I'm not worried at all. Well, maybe just a little. From the moment you get here, you see these crazy houses, different curves and lines. It's not like anything I've ever seen before. Here comes everybody. John, Elliot, nice to meet you. Very nice to meet you.
My name is Elliot. I'm the operations manager here. Blue Moon Rising is a village of 14 tiny homes, carefully designed to fit 2 to 4 people to get away from their life and their stuff and relax in the woods.
I'm Natalie.
Natalie?
Blue Moon Rising is special because it's just got great energy.
Sean.
Sean, all right, I'm John. Nice.
I was hired to help build Blue Moon Rising from day one.
Hi, I'm Catherine. I would describe Blue Moon Rising as almost like a magical fairy tale land. All these different little cabins, each one unique in its own way.
We've been around the country and seen a lot of tiny houses, but never this many. 14 all in one little community.
I love this place, just this sheer fact that we can teach people about living smaller.
Each house was designed with recycled and repurposed products. Take old barn wood and give it a second life as decking boards. We really worked hard to make this thing special and different.
Kind of like a primer kit for living tiny. You get to come here and try it out.
Yeah, where else do you get to come in and see a small 250 square foot space and just try it?
You can tell for the staff this isn't a job. I mean, this is a passion. It's written all over their faces. These tiny houses are like their children. And like anyone that's proud of their children, they want to share it with the world.
We're always trying to come up with new ideas to connect with the community that we live in. And one of them was you have kind of an open house Halloween style thing where people could come in and see the different houses. And we said, how do you do that on a tiny scale?
Yeah.
Maybe you could help us learn how to haunt our tiny houses.
Normally when I get a call for some help with tiny houses, it's help with tiny houses. This wasn't like that. They needed help with Halloween. I reached out to Halloween experts, really. We call them entrepreneurs. Yep. These are the specialists.
I see these guys coming up and they're all dressed in black and tattoos. And I'm going, oh no, what are they going to do to our tiny houses?
Hi, guys.
Come on over. Tell me a little bit more about what you do.
All right, guys. Well, I'm from Field of Screams, Maryland. We actually focus on the science of scares, and they range from psychological things to very physical things. So it's kind of like playing into their mind and their fears.
So, JJ, tell me about your team.
We're from the Queen Mary's Dark Harbor in Long Beach, California. Queen Mary is really special because it's an old ocean liner that was built in the 30s. And at our haunt, we've got 6 mazes, 3 actually on board the ship. And every maze will tell a story or a tale. But we each have our own skill sets, and that's what Ryan and Sarah come together with me, and we create the full package.
Nice. Jimmy.
I work for the Nightmare on 13th Haunted House in Salt Lake City, Utah. One of the main elements in our haunted house that we like to use is crazy, wacky cartoon art. We are 36,000 square feet of pure terror.
Wow, these guys are going to be great with this Halloween thing.
Do you think you can haunt 360 square feet?
Oh, yeah. It's all about the layers you put into such a small space.
Yeah, just like building a tiny house.
Yeah, right. And the best thing is, these designers make everything from scratch with everyday items, which is so much cooler than anything you can buy. And they're going to share their secrets so you can do them at your home for Halloween. We're going to throw the most awesome Halloween haunt community event that Maryland's ever seen. And we're going to do it right here at Blue Moon Rising. There's 14 different tiny houses here. We've got 3 selected for you guys to haunt. That's the plan. Let me ask you guys this. As designers, are you open to collaboration?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, because we're going to ask these guys to collaborate with you.
I really want to see like a haunted circus or something along those lines.
Oh, I'd love to do that. Okay.
Okay, great.
All right, well, then I'm going to pair you guys together. Sean?
I would really like to see a mad scientist.
Science.
Awesome.
Nice. That was obvious, though. That would make sense.
Cool, man.
All right, well, do you have a theme or anything you like?
I would love to see a witch's lair.
Nice. Absolutely on board for
Come
Richard.
on over. Now that you guys are sort of paired up and you know which houses you're going to be doing, there's one more little thing. It's going to be a competition. We're going to let the townspeople decide who wins. There is something at stake. Bragging rights. There's going to be pressure, and there's not a lot of time. So you guys go ahead, Check out your space and get those ideas coming. The designers only have 5 days to create what normally takes them months to build. This isn't going to be easy, but I can't wait to see the dramatic results after they transform these tiny houses.
What do you think about the place?
It has this energy to it.
It's just so peaceful and so calm. It just feels right for a haunt.
Man, I can't believe the air out here. It's so nice and fresh.
Yeah,
That's so tiny.
I know.
I was a little nervous walking up the hill, seeing how tiny the spaces were. Kind of gives me a giant question mark to, what am I going to do? That's a little nerve-wracking.
So this is Belladonna.
Heck yeah. Ooh, the ceiling. We're going to utilize that for sure. We're going to play with the lighting in here, too. These bulb lights.
This is Billy Blue Skies.
Yes! Like, this is perfect, dude. Like, we've got copper piping already. The pipe's up top. I was thinking maybe rusting up walls.
Here it is. This is Funkomatic.
Wow.
Isn't
it's
it?
adorable. This place feels like a fairy tale. It feels so magical and
Doesn't
whimsical.
it?
And almost kind of like it could be a coven. You could possibly use old ancient, like, chopping blocks and old iron pieces that will look like torture devices that the witches might use.
I don't know how we're going to fit everything in here.
That's going to be, I think, the challenge.
Yeah.
How's it going, guys?
Good. We're so excited.
I mean, what do you think? It is small.
It's pretty tiny.
Yeah.
Definitely the smallest house I've ever seen.
My concern is taking what we do with these mazes, because we have a lot of space to work with, and translating that into a tiny house. Some of the theming, I think, can bleed outside of the cabin as well.
Tiny house living is all about connection to the outdoors.
And it's perfect for witches because a lot of their practices always connects back to nature and using natural resources for their potions and spells. We've been given the challenge to design a maze in 267 square feet. When you walk into our haunt, you're going to see a witch's lair, a coven of witches that have risen from being gone for centuries, and they're reclaiming their coven. And you'll see their potions and their spells and their ceremonies.
Mazes are what JJ does. That's her specialty. How she's going to do it in such a small space is beyond me, but she's the expert, and I can't wait to see what she comes up with. I know you said mad scientist, and you jumped at it. What is that sparking in you?
I think of electricity, a lot of electricity, and I think of like mad scientists, like plugging things in and lights flashing. And
You think you can incorporate all that?
Yeah.
Or at least parts of that?
The best source of electricity is right above us in the sky. So I was thinking, how can we take a thunderstorm and build that around our cabin? So you're immersed in that automatic electric energy. So I'm seeing, like, when the people come in, it's instantly going to be years and years of experiments gone wrong. When Sean said he wanted to do a mad scientist theme, I immediately thought tiled walls that are sticky and disgusting and dripping, and we came up with a storyline. The mad scientist has been cast out from society. Builds this makeshift cabin in the woods. And once you go inside, it's got all the works, but they're very jerry-rigged.
It sounds like Mike and Sean are going big with their design. I don't know how they're going to create a lightning storm in a tiny house without blowing the circuit box, but Mike seems pretty confident. Regardless, I have no doubt we're going to walk away with some cool haunted lighting tricks we can use in our own homes for Halloween.
My mind is going wild as to how this is going to turn out. We're going to do kind of a carnival, maybe sideshow kind of feel. Use the height totally. First things first, make it feel like maybe like a tent that way. Drink some fabric up. And,
I like that. You're right. It kind of has the shape. The roof
Yeah,
kind of has the
totally
shape
does.
already of that.
yeah, now it's time to start designing it. What excites me about a circus theme is that there are lots of different elements to a circus. I want to take a little bit creepier approach at it and actually do sideshows. They're creepy, they're ominous, and they got a lot of weird, macabre things inside, and that is right up my alley.
Are you going to be able to pull it off?
Yes, totally. My mind is just going nuts.
I can totally see why Jimmy wants to make the inside of the house look like a circus tent with the high ceilings, but I can't wait to see the sideshow attractions he builds. What we're asking these designers to do is not easy. It's really important that they pull this off and do this well, so we are totally immersing our designers in the tiny house lifestyle. They're living in these tiny houses for the week and documenting the experience with their own cameras.
We're moving into our cabin for the week. Oh, it's so adorable.
It actually feels 3 stations.
Are you going to be scared tonight, Ryan?
No, not till after we decorate.
Yeah. Hi, it's JJ and Sarah. Hi guys. Hi. In true tiny house fashion, we decided to stock up on some goodies so we could live here for a week. And I think we might watch a movie. I hope it's not as scary. What was that?
I'm at Blue Moon Rising, a tiny house village in the woods of Maryland. 3 hair-raising entrepreneurs are here to create a huge event for the entire town. They each brought 2 assistants to help them finish an epic haunted design in 5 short days. It's day 2 of the competition, and each expert is working with their staff member, teaching them insider tips of the haunted trade. Mike's plan is to line the interior of the house with fake walls that he can age and really grunge up without damaging the real walls. One way he makes the fake walls look aged is through a rusting technique.
So we're talking about like rust up top.
Yeah.
We kind of want to pull some of that color scheme through some of the panels. A good rust technique, find sand that comes in all different kinds of granule sizes. With rust, it's not even texture at all. You've got some parts that are super oxidized, some parts are chipping off, and then you mix glue into it. right in there, because what the glue is going to do is just help it stick on there, but it's also going to kind of smooth out some of the areas, making like a random texture. The fun way to do it is just kind of like just reach and aim. The cool thing is too, you can do this on metal. Definitely want to come inside and feel like you're in a hospital of sorts, a lab. Operating tables, equipment and gear we could cook up, failed experiments everywhere.
Kind of like building a whole house, but in a tiny house. Really cool to learn some of these techniques.
Creating fake rust seems pretty easy, but to build all new interior walls for the entire house seems like a big job to finish in just 3 days. While Mike and Sean turned wood into rust, JJ and her crew have gone into town on a spooky prop hunt.
Today I'm taking my team to a flea market. We're looking for things like potion bottles and cast iron skillets, but we come in with an open mind. Oh, wow. The best discoveries is when you find things that you're not expecting to find. Wouldn't these make great pedestals for like shrines for the witches' ceremony? Yeah, the candles on them.
This stool is really nice and aged already too. And these would be great for like potions.
Those are beautiful. One of the best things about shopping at a flea market is the production value. At a flea market, you're getting things that people have used, and you can't get that wear and beauty of a piece when you're just buying it off the shelf.
Look at all these great candy dishes.
We could put Christmas lights in these, and it'll look like it's glowing, like the potion's actually
We have
glowing.
those glow sticks as well we can throw in there.
Glow sticks.
Oh my god, that is funk-o-matic for sure. Ooh, look at these shutters over here. We could like dry brush them to age them.
Those shutters look a little too pristine now, but we can transform those into something that looks like it's been aging for centuries.
These will be so beautiful with the light coming through.
And the great thing about these techniques is anybody can do them. They're so quick and they're so easy that anybody at home could pick up a paintbrush and meet the challenge.
I really want to frame in this room because it's got amazing height.
Jimmy's plan is to create the illusion of being inside a circus tent with freaky sideshow attractions inside, and he wants the environment to feel as real as possible.
I'm going to be framing out of the wall these little shadow boxes that each of the oddities is going to be inside.
I like it.
One of the things you see in sideshows a lot is these freaky, weird banners that would draw the customer on in.
Oh my gosh, I like this one a lot. This is really cool.
The haunting teams are off to a great start, converting this peaceful tiny house village into a habitat of horror. Blue Moon was created as a unique hub of tiny homes designed to provide curious visitors with a window into the tiny house lifestyle. I'm about to get a tour from Bill Thomas, the man who built these tiny houses.
Come on in, have a look around.
Yeah. What I love about every single one of these places, it's finished so nicely. You can just see the care and the craftsmanship on all of it.
Well, thank you. We try hard to do that.
Well, the different materials, that's what jumps out to me. And you can see a lot of like reclaimed wood.
Now, the railing that's around the loft up there, that's fencing from an old graveyard.
Really?
It's a little spooky, but it works. Getting reclaimed materials and picking is just about bringing the history of that wood into what we're doing. Every piece of wood has history.
In addition to the amazing repurposed materials used, the house also features a multi-purpose shelf and desk unit. It's things like this that make tiny living possible. It's all about multi-functionality. The spirit of repurposing and reusing stuff. In my mind, you've nailed that.
Oh, thanks.
Seeing this tiny house was a real dream, but when I stepped outside, I was looking at a bad weather nightmare. Since all the teams are utilizing their outdoor spaces to build their set pieces, bad weather is bad news. Holy smokes! If the storm doesn't let up soon, the tiny haunted house reveal may not happen. Wow! It's day 2 of our Tiny House Halloween Challenge at Blue Moon Rising in Maryland, and a killer rainstorm has forced our design teams to abandon their outdoor work. Let's go inside! Come on! All this lightning is not the electricity Mike was looking for. It could completely upend everyone's tight build schedules.
We're going to keep building these panels as best we can inside with what we have.
Awesome. The Mad Scientist and Witches Coven teams appear to be moving forward in their builds. A big part of Jimmy and Natalie's design is creating oddities and freaks to put on display in their big top, and I want to check out how that's going.
So the idea is we're actually going to make a skeleton with a little Frankenboy inside of it. And then the big one in the center will be the all-seeing, all-knowing eye.
I want to know where you get stuff like this.
I actually molded it and made it. It was just an idea I had one day. I was like, I want to make a Franken baby skull.
These ideas are really cool.
Hey! How do you feel about the time? I mean, obviously, for the get-go, time was going to be an issue, and now with this weather, it's even more of an issue.
That's all how you look at it.
I feel like Jimmy and Natalie have made some decisions, but I feel like they're really still trying to come up with a design. So I know there is
limited space,
limited time, and, you know, the weather. Good luck, guys.
Thanks.
Cool.
All right. As a new day dawns, all signs of the storm have vanished. It's day 3, and our teams are all hard at work on their haunts. The Blue Moon staff members are learning all kinds of tips from their hauntpreneurs as they get ready for the big event. The shutters that JJ bought at the flea market are a great find, but she needs to age them to make them fit into the witch's layer she's creating.
I have started with this very wet base coat of black, and now we're going to add a layer of this antique white in a dry brush technique to transform those into something that looks beautifully aged. And you want to get a little bit of paint on your brush. Okay. And then you can kind of get rid of some of the paint on this drop cloth. And you're going to put, just barely put any pressure on the brush. So this kind of makes it look like it was painted white at one time. And from years and years of rain and weather, it gets distressed. So.
All right. So do you want these edges done? Like all of it? Or?
Yeah, go ahead and go on all over it. But it does not have to be perfect. We only have a couple days. I adore Catherine, and I'm so excited that we were partnered up with her. You're a natural, Catherine.
Wow.
Do you want to come work at Dark Harbor?
Oh, that would be great.
While you do that, I'll continue with this base coat.
Everyone's hitting their stride, and the creative juices are flowing. While Catherine is learning how to age wood, Natalie has something she wants to show Jimmy.
What's this?
This is a zombie that I made.
Dude, that's super cool. How'd you figure that out?
It's basically plaster of Paris, but it's, cheesecloth for the outside, wood, and then inside of here, it's actually an old bag with crumpled up newspaper. And then I used a balloon and just a plastic Halloween mask to get that shape for the face.
For your first attempt, this is really good.
Thank you.
Natalie has been amazing. Quite a blessing in disguise. She's going to be really key in getting it done in time.
Everyone is making great progress with their haunts, but I want to transform them into tiny living experts. So I've come up with a ghoulish twist for our little competition. Hey, Mike, JJ, Jimmy, come on up here. I need to talk to you. Listen, I know that rain sort of set everyone back, but really, what's a competition without a few hurdles, right?
That's true.
I do have another hurdle for you guys. This one is going to be a design challenge. It's based on tiny living, something that you guys are all getting to experience this week. Mm-hmm. Now, one thing about tiny living that's key is multifunctionality. Everything in a tiny house has to have more than one use. That's how you get more square footage out of what's available. So my challenge for you guys is a multi-purpose challenge. What I want you guys to do is design something for your haunt that screams Halloween, but can then be repurposed and still used in the tiny house once Halloween is gone. You guys have some blank stares.
Yeah. That's something to do.
Sure. The wheels are turning. I have no idea what I'm going to do for this challenge.
The more creative, the better.
I need to think through someone else's eyes.
Shut up!
Yeah. I need to bounce some ideas off of you.
Some of our teams went straight to work on brainstorming functional yet frightening ideas for the multi-purpose challenge.
Maybe use those beakers we talked about, like little test tubes, maybe make like a spice rack. So we just drill holes in a shelf, and then you have a spice rack for like the basil and the salts or something hanging down.
Other houses decided to push the challenge off until later so they could focus on finishing their haunts.
Hey, how's it
going? Ryan?
Great.
What are you guys doing?
We're making burning coals. Christmas light.
How's that work?
We take the Christmas lights and we staple them to these boards.
Okay.
And then we cover them in expanding foam here and do a dry brushing technique. And when the lights turn on, they flash just enough to look like fire.
Nice. Are we burning someone at the stake over here?
We sure are.
Is that the idea? What an easy way to make coals. Very cool. It's been a long and productive day, and our designers had decided to take a break around a campfire. Everything is on track. For now, at least.
You guys getting much chance to enjoy the scenery?
A little bit. We were foraging in the woods.
What about you guys?
I'm working so hard, I'm not getting much chance to enjoy it.
Yesterday, in the day, I was stressed out, and then I felt better today, and now that the sun is going down, it's reminding me of the time we have.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of forgot what day it was, so I'm like, what day
It's hard to scare a haunt master.
We just attempted to scare our designers, and I'm not sure if it worked. I think we were a little out of our league.
Yeah.
It's day 4 at Blue Moon Rising. Everyone is working hard to finish their tiny haunted houses because the entire town of McHenry, Maryland is coming tomorrow night to see the haunted show, ready or not. And JJ's team was up before sunrise working on their haunt. Wow, you guys have been busy in here.
We got an early start, and we've made some major progress. We went on a walk, and we collected sticks that had fallen. We started sculpting the space using what we found out in the woods of Maryland.
Very nice. Now, I know one of the big things you were concerned about was you guys are typically maze people.
Yes.
And that was going to be hard to do in this space. I mean, can you walk me through what your idea is?
Yeah, we have rigged these sticks up in a way that kind of create these natural segments inside the space. So people will come in and they can find their way through these different vignettes, and they'll have to walk through all of these divides.
Okay.
But it's a free-for-all, so you can start here and end up over there, and before you leave, come over to their kitchen and then out the door. But we've got these great fabric pieces hanging, but right now they're just fabric. We have to add layers on them to make them richer in design, and then layering on all of the lighting effects, the sound.
JJ is a master of mazes, but at the Queen Mary, the ship is 80,000 square feet, 300 times more than her tiny house. Her team is making the best use of the small space through innovative repurposing of natural and found objects. Using branches with drapes of cloth is a simple solution, and anyone can do it at home. Now that Jimmy's taught Natalie a few simple painting techniques, he's put her to work creating signs for the freak show displays.
So we got to get these circles painted. Should go ahead and continue painting this one. I've got a couple other things I got to get to so that we can get this whole piece together.
Okay.
Jimmy brought along his artist assistant, Val, who's making good progress on the exterior set pieces. How's it going, Val?
Hi, John.
Saw this when I was walking in, the little skeleton.
Yes.
I love the style.
It's very easy to do. I think people get overwhelmed by drawing too big. A lot of times I'll use an overhead projector, but I knew there wasn't going to be one out here, so I went to the copy center and just had one enlarged.
You drew a little mini one of these.
Drew one about 17 inches tall.
Okay.
And then I just spray mounted it with adhesive onto plywood, cut it out, and now it's right there.
So you just had your sketch right on the wood.
And that's why anyone can do it.
Making an oversized cartoon character doesn't seem as intimidating now that I know that the trick is draw it small and just have it enlarged at a copy center. The experts have been really inspiring. The staff has gotten into the spirit and have started their own Halloween projects. Natalie is making giant eyes by spray painting beach balls and filling them in with black acrylic paint. Sean has found a cool projector that works with a smartphone to project haunted homemade videos. And Catherine is making tea lights from old mason jars, crepe paper, and felt. It's amazing what can be done with everyday items with just a little bit of creativity.
Welcome to the lair.
Nice. Mind walking me through the space for a little bit?
Well, right now, Sean and I are working on this. What these are is the tarps we've been using to clean our feet and catch paint while we've been working. And we started thinking, what if we start literally wrapping and carefully, contouring all of these angles with those cloths? Because they look like dirty, nasty walls.
Yeah.
It's really taking on almost this cold, cementy feel.
Mike and Sean are building fake walls to line the entire house that they can age without doing any damage to the property. They accomplished this with a really cool rusting technique. And now they've taken it a step further by using these sheets to create the aged look where wall panels can't be installed.
It's something that anybody could really do. It's just get some dirty bed sheets and just rough them up, paint on them, put them through the ringer, really.
Putting the sheet on the wall creates a very cool effect with zero damage done.
We've kind of built these panels up to be this disgusting, decrepit, kind of almost hospital-like feel.
Mike doesn't spare anything when it comes to building his haunts. I just hope he doesn't get so bogged down with details that he fails to finish on time. Next, I want to see how Jimmy's doing with the big top tent concept and see if he's made any of the sideshow attractions yet.
Okay, so it's about halfway there. We got a lot of things to fabricate for it, but we wanted to make it feel like a tent.
Yeah, I remember you said that. It actually looks really good. What I really think Jimmy's doing well with his design is taking advantage of the space that he has. I look up and I see this circus tent in the middle of this tiny house. I mean, it's unbelievable.
And up in the loft is going to be the world's largest man. It's going to look like he's all scrunched up there.
Jimmy has some really big ideas.
I think you're...
Is there anything?
We need a doctor. Yeah. We need a doctor.
Oh. You feeling good about the design?
I'm feeling good about the design. The time crunch is a little worrisome.
Right now, at this point, are you 50% done?
I would say I'm about 50% done.
So you're about halfway there?
Yeah, I got a lot of prep work to still do.
Okay. It's got to get done. The whole town's coming here.
Yep.
And it's happening very soon.
Oh, yeah.
As our teams wrap their last day before the big event, I hope Jimmy takes what I said to heart. I'm rooting for him.
I'm wrapping up for the evening. I was getting a little nervous earlier in the day because everyone else looked like they were very ahead of the game. I have a lot of fabrication I gotta do tomorrow. I've gotta build a couple props, I've gotta paint a couple paintings. I only have a limited amount of time, but it's like at home, when deadlines come, they've gotta be met because when the curtain draws open, it is time to go.
I'm in McHenry, Maryland, where I've gathered 3 of the most talented haunted house experts in the country to transform 3 tiny houses from charming to chilling for a big community Halloween event. And it's day 5, the final day for them to finish their haunts, and some of our designers are working right down to the wire. If I had to guess, I would say this looks like finishing touches. Are they?
Kind of. Around 4 a.m., we were feeling like we still had the outside we wanted to wrap. It's covered in these pipes that are antiqued and rusted, and these huge industrial pipes jutting out of the ground. Are you here to deliver another challenge?
No, I'm not here to deliver another challenge. I actually want to check up, though, and see how you guys did on the multi-purpose.
Yeah, absolutely.
challenge. This is coming along.
We thought of a really cool idea is to take these beakers and make a spice rack.
That's awesome. What is it for the haunt?
Well, for the haunt, it's going to be like these chemicals, different things glowing in these tubes up on the wall, and we just wanted to look really weird, like
radioactive.
Yeah, exactly.
Something.
Yeah,
that's great. We didn't give the designers a lot of time with this contest, and we had bad weather. Good luck, guys. I'm pretty amazed at how much they got done. And everything I'm seeing can be done at home.
Look who's here.
Don't look at me like that, JJ. You look so sad to see me coming.
Always happy to see you.
How's it going?
It's going well. How are you doing?
It looks really good. What are we looking at?
This is our multi-purpose herb garden, so we can leave an herb garden behind. We got some flowers, some plants, and some herbs for that, and we're adding in some witches ingredients to it as we speak. What I love about using palettes in design is they themselves are multifunctional. We use them to create doors and tables.
How do you get these palettes?
You go to the places that use them,
Okay.
and often they don't really have a use for them after they use them, so you can get them for free.
You guys have really done a good job of embracing the tiny house lifestyle. I mean, repurposing crates like this, this is what it's all about. What a clever solution. All they did was stand the pallet on its side and reconfigure the wooden slats to create a base for the plants to sit in. It's fantastic. Hey, Jimmy.
Hey, how are you?
So, I know I kind of dropped the bomb on you guys at the end of the day yesterday with the multi-use challenge. I want to see if you've given it any more thought or made any progress.
I've got a couple ideas.
You worried about that at all?
It'll get done.
Don't forget about that. I know you got a lot to do, and you're putting that off until later, but okay?
Okay.
All right.
I have an idea in my head what I need for it, but I gotta go find that. And if not, I'm gonna have to build it from scratch.
Keep working. While our teams finish up their haunts, I have time to tour one more of Blue Moon Rising's tiny houses. Blue Moon was a multi-year project that focused on building tiny houses from repurposed and recycled materials. They were built off-site and then moved to their lots, and each house has its own unique features. The first thing I noticed are the floors in here.
What we actually did here is sustainably sourced plywood.
Yeah.
And then we cut it into squares. We put just a baby rounded edge along it, and to kind of just soften that edge.
Yeah, it gives it a tile look, obviously. I mean, it's a really interesting look. Right. Plywood made to look like tiling is pretty cool, but you won't believe what they used to make the lamps.
These are some old oil cans. Painted them up, got a really neat patina on them. Instead of the junk pile, it takes on a new life and should live for a long time here as well.
This looks convertible to me.
What you're able to do is just lift this leaf and slide that out, and now you got a large table. So you're sitting on your futon, and you've got your drink, and you're going, where am I going to put my drink?
See, I like that. Well, I got to get everyone ready. Thanks a lot, though.
Thanks, John.
With only a couple hours left until the townspeople arrive for our big event, our teams are furiously racing to finish their haunts.
Where is the fog machine?
With the gold paint.
It's with the gold paint.
Both the invited experts and their Blue Moon counterparts have really impressed me. It's amazing what they've accomplished in only 5 days. But I think I'll check in with Jimmy one last time before I get ready to greet our guests. Jimmy? Come out here for a sec, guys. Hey,
how are you?
Hopefully you guys don't have too much more to do.
Yeah, well, I just gotta get into makeup and get my fog machines rolling, and things should be good.
It's pencils down, no more riding, clean up. The crowd is coming. All right, so you feeling good?
I'm feeling good. The only time crunch I'm really feeling right now is I gotta get myself ready to start scaring people.
Tick-tock, time is wasted, all right? Okay, cool. Good luck, guys. Now that the haunts are built, some of our teams are transforming into characters for their tiny haunted houses. This is about to get scary. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the great Halloween haunt at Blue Moon Rising. Now, what you are about to experience is designed to terrify. So if there's anyone out here with a heart condition, I urge you to please take caution. For behind this curtain lies a minefield of haunts and horrors, the likes of which you've never seen before. A mad scientist's lair, a witch's coven, and a freak show guaranteed to put knots in your stomach. And pay attention, because this is a contest, and all of you are the judges. Sound good? Yeah! All right, you guys, prepare to get the snot scared out of you. I present to you... We're here at Blue Moon Rising, and the big night has arrived for our tiny house Halloween competition. All the townspeople are here and ready to be scared. This is a contest, and all of you are the judges. Everyone got it? Let the haunt begin! How about it, guys? Mike and Sean's Mad Scientist Laboratory is electric and terrifying.
Doctor, can we keep them? Stay inside your cage! Stay inside!
is Mike and Sean's haunt.
Oh, wow. Holy smokes.
Their mad scientist lab is gritty and run down. The walls are rotting away. The decaying corpse sits in the middle of the room like a twisted centerpiece. Every wall is fake and was created with a mixture of sand, glue, and paint to look rusty. Mike is playing the mad scientist, and Sean is his crazed assistant. Even though they use simple dimmers and household lights, you can almost feel the electricity in the air. It's like a lightning storm in a tiny house.
We'll keep you an experiment on you.
Their spice rack solution to the multi-purpose challenge is creative and creepy. The glowing test tubes feel right at home.
Who are you and why are you here? Tell me now.
And to top it all off, they built a facade that they could age and add spooky objects to without damaging the real house.
Leave.
All right.
Mike and Sean's house is a total shock and awe experience, leaving you terrified of becoming a human guinea pig.
Wasn't scared at all.
Jimmy and Natalie's haunted circus sideshow is surreal and spooky.
You're coming to my nest. It's been such a long time since we've had a good show. No children to entertain.
But Jimmy himself steals the show as the pumpkin-headed curator, and Natalie plays a Grim Reaper.
The freak show.
The exterior is decorated with Val and Jimmy's hand-drawn cartoon art. It's easy to do at home and has a huge impact. It kind of lulls you into a false sense of ease. Because inside, a sense of dis-ease is sure to overwhelm. And I can't wait to see what he did for the multi-purpose challenge.
This feels weird.
With grim portraits of freak show characters from days past decorating the walls, the hand-painted signs are easy and effective in creating a mood.
Oh, that's impressive.
Jimmy really pulls off the feeling of being inside a circus tent, using only safety pins to tack material to the ceiling.
That turned out really nice.
The loft inhabitant is fun and genuinely creepy. Bizarre details fill the room, all lending to a genuinely unsettling circus atmosphere. Jimmy's multi-purpose is a vintage steamer trunk, which converts into a bathroom vanity after the haunt.
Sort of blocking the door.
It just feels so creepy. Oh my God, Jimmy, you are a mastermind. Whoa! JJ and Catherine's witch's lair is dark and foreboding.
I just can't believe these are our cabins. This is unbelievable.
Oh my
There's a
God.
lot going on.
Okay, where do we go now? It's crazy.
Yeah, if I didn't know better, I'd say those were real coals.
Catherine is the only character hiding outside to terrify. Inside, you're all on your own. Confusion reigns as the space has been converted into a tiny, disorienting maze. Using only curtains hanging from real tree branches, a genuine and organically terrifying atmosphere pervades the space. And anyone can do this at home.
It just gives me the creeps in here.
This combination of natural objects, familiar witch icons, and even kitschy household items create an overwhelming sense of doom and despair.
It just feels like you shouldn't be in here right now.
The multi-purpose herb garden is like an evil alcove, storing the witches' ingredients for their potions.
That's mean. I was nice to you guys all week.
JJ and Catherine have drenched this tiny house in a desolate and gloomy atmosphere and successfully created a disorienting setting in only 267 square feet. No tiny task.
That's enough. That's enough for me.
I'm truly amazed at the work our teams were able to do with such limited resources. It's time to collect the votes and hear from our victims.
You have fun?
I did. It was amazing.
I loved all of them. The pumpkin guy in the third one, too, was awesome. He did it for me. They all had a lot of great detail put into them.
We're totally inspired. We're going to try to recreate this.
Time to count the votes and crown the winner.
Did everyone have a good time? Was everyone terrified? Or was it just me? I just want to say what you designers and helpers did, the transformation that this really cute village took, it blows my mind. So one more big round of applause for all of our designers, huh? I hope you all had fun, you guys. You guys all voted. I've counted the votes. I've tallied them up. We have a winner. And that winner is standing right next to me. Congratulations, my mad scientists. Mike, Sean,
Congratulations.
Thanks, man.
Did you ever have acting lessons? You were so scary in there.
Thanks. No, I'm just a little scary, I think.
Yeah. Cheers, everybody. Cheers. Was I scared? Yeah, I was a little scared. I may have screamed, a little high-pitched, but in the end, really, I wasn't that scared.
I used to learn to call it man, and it's